Are you having a good time?
Guys, they just keep going on and on, and I just wish I could get them to stop.
I'm gonna kill you, you know that? I'm gonna kill you, and then when I'm done with you, I'm gonna drive you into the ground, and then
Alright. Alright, can you please stop? Thank you. So, this is my review on Uncut Gems. So, I just got back from seeing my first A24 movie in the theater, which is pretty cool for me. I really loved most of A24's movies, so this was pretty exciting for me. I loved Good Time. So the question remained, would I enjoy this one, or would the wonders cease? And would I see, like, one of the kinks in the machine that is A24? And the answer is kind of a bit of both. And as I start to go into depth about this, I'll, like, explain. So, what you've heard about this movie from everyone is true, but then there's also things that you hadn't been prepared for that also make it less enjoyable than you may have imagined. And that's why audiences have been more divisive on this one than other A24 movies, which I think you should be warned about and know going in. Because this is one of those cases where knowing it going in would have actually been beneficial to enjoying it, because this is one of those instances where you really do need to know and have the right mindset going in. Otherwise, you're going to leave feeling disappointed. This is not, I repeat, not a thriller. Don't expect any lengthy sequences of panic, of running, of violence, of, for lack of a better word, sheer chaos. There is chaos, don't get me wrong, and there is a little bit of everything that I've mentioned, but not to the point that others have exploited and exaggerated. There's a little bit here and there, but it's been greatly exaggerated just how much going in. This is not a thriller. This is a drama with comedy thrown in. Now, the reason why I'm hesitant to call it a comedy is because when you hear an Adam Sandler comedy, your brain instantly goes one way. But this is more in vein with Punch Drunk Love than it is, say, Jack and Jill. But this is not Punch Drunk Love either. This is a totally different beast. This is more of a crime film than anything else. Like I said, a crime drama, like a tragedy. I like that my brother called it that. About, like, a guy that just doesn't know when to stop. And in that same vein, something that everyone touched upon was how his sort of gambling addiction is addressed in this. And how, like, he just keeps needing to stop, but he just can't. And you, as an audience, know this tragically. And the film's predictability, which normally is a bad thing in my eyes, but the film's predictability, as a result, is actually a good thing, because I think it makes it more tragic. Because you know exactly where this road leads. And it really takes its time to get there. The movie's way too long, but that kind of adds to the experience in a way, because it's really taking its sweet time to get to that conclusion you know is coming. And it does not give you any pleasure to get there, but you know it's coming. Uh, so yeah, Adam Sandler is very likable as the scumbag that he is. There's just kind of this goofy look on his face throughout most of the film, which kind of makes him endearing. But while everyone is praising him, and yeah, I do praise him in this role because it is more layered than most of his performances, I still want to bring something to attention that I don't think anyone else has, which is his performance is essentially just getting mad at people and then smiling at people so that he can be likable. So it's not a one note performance, but it is a two note performance. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of layered, but like, shouldn't we be asking for more? I mean, there's this really good scene that I'll address in the spoilers section later. Yeah, I'll just address that later. We're in the spoiler free zone still. The soundtrack is just as wonderful as Good Time. It's very much the same soundtrack as Good Time. It's in the very same vein. I mean, these are the two directors from Good Time. It's not the same film as Good Time, though. I was expecting a similar film to Good Time in tone, and that's what people were making it sound like from the reviews, because Good Time was like a thriller, like I previously mentioned. And I much preferred Good Time, for sure. I gave Good Time like an 8.5 when I first watched it, I think. This one I gave a 7.5, I think. But I'll need to rewatch it since I properly know what it is now. But I'll get more into that later once again. What else is there? There's other positives for sure, that I noticed. I love the color scheme and the style. It was just drenched with color and style. Those two really go in hand a lot. And it's a very beautiful looking movie. There's a lot of craft involved that was remarkable and impressive in this movie. That's why I feel really bad giving it only a 7.5 because it feels too low for a movie this well made. Same with like other movies. But the other movies that I gave lower ratings that everyone else adores, I feel like those are more justified because there's this weird deep-seated loathing about those films. Even though I like them, it's weird, but that one is not present in this film. I don't know, there's something pure about this film. There's something good about this film. Like, I don't know, there's just something about this movie that's like you can't get mad at it, you know? Like, you can dislike it, but you can't be mad at it for what it is. You can be disappointed, you can even say that you don't like it, but you can't be mad at it for what it is, because what it is good. Yeah. I mean, it's A24, it's not exactly going to be a low quality product, especially if they produce it with a smile and the critics give you their seal of perfection on it, even if the audiences are split down the middle on it just because they don't know what that it is. And even after watching it, you're not sure exactly what to label what that it is because it's hard to figure out. But it's well edited. Like there's these rising tones that happen that make it hard to like they do a good job at creating this emotion within you that make you feel like the title character. Like the when I said that there's a little bit of the things that people exaggerate, like that little bit of panic. There's one scene where the sound effect swells after the character gets beat up, which is in the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler. But that scene, you can just feel just the oh gosh tension of it, which is great. But other than that, I struggled to see the anxiety piece that most people talked about. But I think it was that everyone was talking over one another frequently, which added to the chaos, which I'm guessing was the point. I'm guessing that that was what created a lot of the anxiety. But because there was so much people talking over one another and just yelling at one another, and like a lot of scenes of people just muttering and stuff like that. A lot of the dialogue was really hard to hear. So like I honestly wished I could have watched the movie with subtitles on because I did not understand half the words I heard. Which I mean like half the word most of the words that I was able to make out were just like curse words. It's probably like I didn't miss too much. uh but yeah, I mean, it was a good movie for sure. You just have to know what you're getting into. The trailers did sell it well, and it did let you know what you were getting into. It just tried to sell it a little too much as a thriller. Like, they showed basically all the violence, and they marketed the violence a little too heavy, but you just kind of have to know that that's it going in. There's, like, nothing else. Even though the rating for the movie suggests that there's way more violence in it, that's it, apart from one. Oh, wait, I shouldn't say. But there's one brief moment at the very end of the movie, which you're all gonna see coming, like I said, but that's the point. I'll get into that more in the spoiler section. But yeah, some of the parts were harder to hear. Like I said, a lot of this I need to address more on second viewing. I definitely need to just digest what I just saw. The movie's too long. It's 2 hours 15 minutes. Most A24 movies are like an hour 40 minutes. So like I feel like if it was cut down to that runtime, like most of the movie is just like him wandering around and doing stuff. And it's not the most engaging of a plot because like as far as crime dramedies go, when you're expecting a crime thriller and you're expecting to be like, oh my gosh, oh we're right, oh he's in panic, oh he's getting shot, oh it's so intense, everyone's saying you're gonna have an anxiety attack, oh my gosh, I'm gonna crap myself. But then you don't, you really don't. It's just like 2 hours of, all right, so I'm in a bad situation. Now I'm calmly gonna try to make it better. Now I'm gonna yell at someone because I'm mad at them. I'm gonna calmly, while smiling doofully, try to make it better. And then we get to the ending of the movie, and then the ending of the movie happens. And it's very quick. It's way quicker than I thought it would have been. The third act was, I was expecting I was like, well, in the very least, the third act will be this long, drawn out, tense thing that I thought the whole movie would have been. No. It was only like the last not even 30 seconds of the movie. There's only like a split second of the movie that's even tense. And it's only because it caught me off guard because I was still waiting for a moment that happened in the trailers, which was like the best moment from the trailers that didn't happen in the movie. And I was like, oh, well, that's disappointing. But also caught me off guard, so touche. So yeah. Alright, I think I'm ready for the spoiler review now. So first off, the more crass moments were really funny. Like, like Adam Sandler when he first saw the gem and he's like, I think I just came a little bit right there. And then when his wife was like, when he was texting his wife, and might I add, very creepily stalking her from the closet, and he's like, are you wet? And she was like, oh yeah, I'm totally wet. And he's like, are you wet? And she's like, uh-huh, uh-huh. I'm gonna reach down a little bit. And he's like, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is, I didn't think I'd see Adam Sandler doing this in this movie, but okay, I'm gonna just go along with this. Next thing that I wanted to address. Trying to think if there's anything before the ending I want to address now. That was like a spoiler. I think we're to the ending. Yeah, what happened to like his family? I mean, his family was like kind of just abandoned him, so I guess they're cut out of like the money at the end, but like, so now we're at the end, so his girlfriend kind of just gets everything. And then we're at the big moment, the one everyone knew before the movie even began, the one we knew before the trailers even started, which is Adam Sandler gonna die, which they had so many on the nose foreshadowings to that are like impossible to miss during the movie. It's like, can you try to make it more on the nose where he's like, hey son, you're firstborn, you're gonna die. And it's like, Adam Sandler, you know your character's firstborn, right? Oh, it's so on the nose. And then there's one comment, like at the beginning of the movie, where he's like, oh man, Friday, oh, Friday's gonna kill me, or something like that, where he's like so sheepish, where he's like, oh man, Friday's a real killer. Oh man, Friday's gonna kill me. Friday will be the end of me. And it's like, gee, I really wonder if my theory of Adam Sandler dying is gonna happen in this movie. And probably after all his scenes run out in the trailers. But no, because there's still that one scene in the trailers that never happened. So then, when things started to go well for him and he won the thing, I was like, okay, so his arc is going to be that he loses at the end. And that's what causes the downward spiral. Because everyone knows there's going to be a downward spiral. This is A24 we're talking about. The producers of First Reformed. What other downward spiral movies are there? They did not do Joker, but did they do any Martin? No, they didn't do any Martin Scorsese movies. They did downward spiral movies, and they do movies with like dark endings, but like which ones? The Vitch or the Witch, whatever you want to call it. Does that one count? Because Anya Taylor-Joy is not in Joy until the ending of the movie. Hereditary, let's count those. Yeah, so you know there's going to be a downward spiral, but it's not exactly what you're expecting. And then he wins at the end, and it's like, but he has to lose because downward spiral, and he has to die. You know he has to die, and we're literally at the ending of the movie. So what gives? There's like what, 5 minutes left of the movie? What gives? What the heck? We have so much ground to cover in this time. We still have that scene with him running along in the trailer, and it looks so tense, and you're like, oh my gosh, can we get to the violence already? I thought there was supposed to be so much more of it that you hid because it would be in the third act, and kind of. Which is literally just Adam Sandler getting shot in the face out of nowhere, which in retrospect is very makes a lot of sense, but in the moment I was so shocked because I was still waiting for that scene in the trailer, so I was like and I jumped so hard and I hit the back of my head on the chair because I was waiting patiently for that really intense scene in the trailer, because I was like, for sure this third act, for sure that's coming up, I can see it coming up, he's gonna mess something up after he wins this, and that's going to create the big explosive ending. But no, just point blank gets shot in the head because the Russians are sick and tired of his bullcrap where they locked him in this hot room, and they're just like, oh my gosh, can this idiot just yapping along just shut up? Let's make him shut up, alright? He's just locked us in this tiny little room, and he's just screaming about how he's winning, he's losing, he's winning, look, he won, yeah, I don't care, Bop, you're dead. And then he kills the brother-in-law, who I saw him dying like a million light years in advance, but I thought he was either A, going out the window, or B, getting stabbed by Adam Sandler, because when Adam Sandler looked down at the floor, like, looking for the knife, and it showed that shot, I was like, oh crap, is he gonna like stab that dude and like the whatever? But no, they didn't do that. So yeah, all in all, did I have a good time? Yeah, I'd still recommend it. There's definitely enough there. You just have to know what you're in for, and I just need to rewatch it for sure. But yeah, it was definitely a good movie, though. I'd still for sure recommend it. I mean, it's A24. They're hard to fail you. But yeah, you just have to know that it's a little overlong and it's a drama, so like not much happens. Or I say that about a lot of movies, but my brother gets mad at me whenever I say that because he's like, everything happens in movies where you say not much happens. Like I say that about The Godfather, I say that about Fences, because those movies are really boring to me. This one was not boring to me, but The Mill left a lot to be desired, which I thought could have had some stuff cut down. Like at the beginning, I had interest, but just everything up until the ending, I felt like could have used some squeezing and condensing because the whole plot just it's like semi interesting, but after a while, it just becomes a little bit dull. So like you really want to squeeze the runtime down a bit more, I'd say. Because, I mean, we do not need you to A24 up the place with a scene of Adam Sandler moving up his garbage can. It doesn't service the plot, the characters, the cinematography, anything like that. Now, I was fine with Rooney Mara eating a cake for like 9 minutes in A Ghost Story and stuff like that. And I was even fine with that garbage can scene. But it's just like you need to tighten up that runtime somehow. So that would be one of the scenes I would cut. But like there's like several scenes like that where it's like I don't really see any purpose for this being here. Like couldn't it have just been left on the cutting room floor? I don't really see why this even filmed. I don't know. Maybe there was sign in there I missed. I don't know. I mean, I don't exactly see the big. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the part from earlier. The part where I was like, "Oh, he does give a third emotion somewhere." The scene where he's crying because he's like, "Oh, all my plans failed. I don't know what to do." That was a good scene. Keep that scene. It was a good scene. And his girlfriend's like, "Hey, I won't abandon you because your girlfriend's a